If you guys are seeing this, that means the schedule function on YouTube works, because right now I'm in Los Angeles. I knew I was going to be traveling this week, so I had this video recorded in advance for you guys. We're gonna keep it simple today, and we're gonna do a Q&A part 2. As always, the questions are asked by you guys, so let's get into it. Have you ever had to bail a friend out of jail? No, I have not. But I left this question in because call me friends. I am absolutely the friend you should call if you get sent to jail. No judgment, I'll come with the bail money and the snacks, but you have to tell me the story because I want the tea. I also left this question in there just as a fun little anecdote because I had a friend once call me on his way to jail to wish me a happy birthday because he knew I was going to be locked up on my birthday. And I think that is so thoughtful and so sweet, and everybody needs friends like mine. If you had 24 hours to spend $1 million, what would you buy? Now, I'm assuming by this question you mean I can't put any of it into savings, like I have to spend it, a use it or lose it type situation. So first I'm paying off all my debts, the student loans, the car, all of that stuff. Then I'm paying off all my parents' debts, the rest of the house, their cars, their camper, anything else they have miscellaneously, I'm paying it all off. After that, I'm gonna go on a really nice vacation. In fact, my whole family's going on nice vacations. And I don't just mean like me, my parents. I mean, anyone who's willing to get on a plane. I have one grandmother who is absolutely not willing to get on a plane. So I don't know what I'm gonna buy her, but I need to figure out something to buy her. Anyone else is willing to get on a plane, we're going to Italy, we're going to Greece, we're going somewhere beautiful. Aunts, uncles, cousins, all of it. And if there's any money left after that, and by any money left, I mean there's probably some money, because $1 million is like a lot to wrap your head around. I'm buying a beach house in my favorite little beach town. And that should about cover the $1 million. What's your favorite movie you've only seen once? Ooh, I like that. It's different. I'm definitely someone who rewatches movies, so let me think about that. Oh, okay, yeah, I know. It's called All the Bright Places. It's a movie that I never need to watch again because it absolutely broke me, but it was done really well. It's based off of a book that I would absolutely never read again as well. It's very sad. It's very beautifully done, but I probably never need to see it again. It's really good though. All the Bright Places, if you're in the mood to cry, you definitely will to that movie. What accomplishment so far in your life has been the most special to you? To me personally, I would probably have to say publishing my book because I know how happy it would make like 10-year-old me to know that I've published a book. I was the kid that was always writing little stories and poems. I was in young author contests. I always loved to write. So I like to think about how amazed like 10-year-old Darby would be to see her name on the cover of a book that people are buying. I just think little me would be really proud. How did you become a Marvel fan? This is actually a good question because it's a good story. I actually wasn't a Marvel fan. I mean, I was kind of indifferent to it when I was younger because my family isn't superhero movie kind of people. Like, we like Star Wars, we like Lord of the Rings, but we were never superhero people. And then I was anti-Marvel after I had a bad experience. So let me tell you about that experience. My senior year of high school, I went on a date with this boy and we were going to the movies. I think we were supposed to see The Conjuring. Does that make sense? See, I can't remember when The Conjuring came out. We were supposed to see a horror movie. I knew that for a fact. We were supposed to see a horror movie. We went to dinner first. We did not buy the tickets in advance because this was back in 2013 where it wasn't as big of a thing to buy them in advance. You could just walk into the movies and buy a ticket. But when we got to the movie theater, the horror movie we were trying to see was sold out. So my date, trying to be a gentleman, turns and looks at me and he said, "What would you like to see instead?" And I, trying to appear as low maintenance and easygoing as possible, said, "Oh, I don't care. You pick." Apparently, that was a mistake. He confidently said, 2 tickets for Iron Man 3, please. And I had to look at him and be like, "Hey, I'm sorry. I've never seen Iron Man 1 or 2, so..." And he looked me dead in my face and said, "Oh, you don't need it to understand the plot." Looking back now, what a wild statement. Like, craziest statement ever if you know Marvel movies. But I believed him because I'm not into superhero movies, so I was like, oh, it's like one of those Fast and Furious things where you don't need to see one to see the others. Okay, fair enough. So I let him do it. I let him buy tickets. We go get snacks, and we're in the snack line. He's telling me, if you have any questions before the movie starts, I'd be happy to answer them to catch you up to speed. I've never seen movies 1 or 2, so I have no idea what I'm even supposed to ask him. Like, I couldn't have possibly come up with a question if I tried. We get into the movie theater, we're super early because we thought we were seeing a different movie at a slightly earlier time. So we're sitting in the theaters and the commercials haven't even started playing yet. Like, not the previews, the commercials before the previews. And I'm racking my brain and I'm trying to figure out what to ask this guy. This is before smartphones, so I couldn't just sit there and pull up my iPhone and Google, like, premise of Iron Man 1 and 2. I have no idea. I'm flying blind with a flip phone. The commercials come on, not the previews. It's important for me to mention that. It's not the real previews. I have finally come up with a question. I'm gonna ask this man something that might make my life easier to understand. I turn to him, I open my mouth to start asking a question, and he shushes me. Like, loudly, like, shh. I was so taken aback and also so mad that I just crossed my arms and sat there, did not make a sound the rest of the movie. I did not laugh at funny parts. I did not gasp. I made not a sound. Purposely, I just sat there stoically. And he had the nerve after the movie to ask me, "Did you like it?" No, sir, I didn't understand anything that was going on. Nothing. It was not at all like Fast and Furious. You absolutely had to see the first 2 to understand what was going on in the third. There's also probably a lot of other Marvel movies I should have seen first, but I didn't, and I didn't understand, and for a long time that completely turned me off to Marvel movies. I just simply did not want to watch them because I had had such a bad experience with my first one. Let's circle back to the question now. How did I become a Marvel fan? Thank God for coach bus trips to New York. I, with a group of friends, went on a bus trip to New York City. On the way home from New York City, all of my friends fell asleep, so I had no choice but to watch the movie they put on. And the movie they put on was the original Avengers movie. It was great, it was wonderful, and it made me want to watch more. I will tell you though, I watched the Iron Man trilogy last. For a long time, I did not go back and watch the original Iron Man 1 and 2 because I'd had such a bad experience with Iron Man 3. And as it turns out, Iron Man is one of my favorite Avengers, so I guess it all works out in the end. What got you interested in doing TikTok? Am I interested in doing TikTok? I know a lot of you came here from TikTok. Hi, thank you guys for being here. But TikTok was a complete accident. I never intended to have a platform on TikTok because I never intended to start posting on TikTok. I never even intended to download TikTok, if I'm being honest. But then quarantine happened. I held out until quarantine happened. And then I was bored in my house bored. And I downloaded it just to mindlessly scroll. Like, I only meant to watch videos. And then we were in quarantine longer than we expected. And I was bored. And at the time I had like 5 followers and it was all people I knew in real life, like really close friends. So I made a TikTok video and then I made another one and then I accidentally amassed a following and I still didn't think I was taking TikTok seriously. One day in March of 2021, I got an email from TikTok that said I was close to qualifying for the Creator Fund, that I obviously met the age limit, I was meeting the amount of views needed, and I was getting close to the amount of followers needed, which is 10,000 followers. And then it became a challenge to me, and I kind of like a challenge. It was like, okay, well, can I hit that 10,000? At the time, 10,000 was way above the following I had on anything. And by the second week in April, I hit 10,000 followers. But I honestly never meant for it to become the thing it is now. I never in a million years expected to have 80,000 followers on TikTok. So to answer your question, I don't know what really got me into TikTok. It was kind of just a weird happenstance, a right moment, right time kind of thing. What has been some of your favorite memories of the Flyers? For those who don't know, I'm a diehard Philadelphia Flyers fan. That's a hockey team. And I could honestly list a ton of favorite memories, but I'll go with my most recent. I was in attendance for Claude Giroux's 1000th game as a Flyer, and that was something I will never forget. I had never seen the Wells Fargo Center so packed, so energized, on their feet and loud the entire game. It was what I think the Wells Fargo Center should always feel like. It was an incredible experience. I cried during the tribute. I cried when Claude Giroux cried when he took his final lap. It was a moment in history that I was witnessing right in front of my face, and that is something I will truly never forget. If the planet was no longer suitable to live on, and you could only choose spaceship or submarine, which would you choose and why? Submarine, and it's not even close. Submarine. Space has always freaked me out, and I've always been obsessed with marine life, especially sharks. Please let me go live with the sharks. First job, what, how long were you there, and why did you leave? Like, first job ever? I mean, I babysat a lot. I was a camp counselor, but they didn't pay me for that, so I guess that's technically a volunteer position. First job, I worked at an orchard. It was fall of either my junior or senior year. I can't even remember at this point. I worked at this little local orchard. They had a little shop where they would sell apples, peaches, depending on the time of year, apple cider, honey sticks. I used to have to stick $1 in the register every time I worked because the honey sticks were 25 cents and I would just constantly eat them during my shift. And I left that one because winter rolled around and they were not open in the winter because there was nothing to sell. And I never went back because then I started working in restaurants after my senior year. Alrighty, last question. What are some goals that you haven't accomplished yet? What a perfect question to end on. How long of a list do you want? I have a lot of things I want to accomplish. I guess in the more short term, I want to hit 1,000 subscribers here on YouTube. I want to hit 100,000 followers on TikTok. I want to publish my second poetry collection. I want to cross off the rest of the states I haven't been to yet because I've been to 44 out of 50 states. I want to get a new stamp on my passport. Eventually, I want to write a novel. Honestly, the list could go on, but I'll cap it there. Well, that brings us to the end of Q&A round 2. Thank you guys so much for asking me more questions and as always for watching. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up and subscribe. And if you have more questions for me, please feel free to leave them in the comments below. I'll see you guys next week. Bye.